Aha, look what I found. Woo-hoo. What is going on, people from the tube? Welcome back to another Pancho Things. I found my blue apron and I found the issue that I was having with the bread starter. We're gonna go over that really quickly here so I can explain what was going down. All right, look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Woo-hoo. Oh my goodness. So look at this. Oh, the smell on this. Mm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we're not ready, but we're gonna go over what went down. Right, so allow me to explain what was happening. So, last update that I did of this, the starter kind of collapsed completely, and I used some of that starter to regenerate it, refresh it, get it back on. And it did work for a day, and then it collapsed again. And that had never happened to me. I never went through that issue. Now, we had a lot of factors going down, but the main factor is one that I overlooked, and I should have paid attention to that first, but I didn't. So, what ended up happening was we've been having crazy weather. So, meaning, during the night, right now we're at 40 degrees, but during the day it's 80 degrees. So, keeping the temperature in the house was really, really, really difficult. Why? During the day, I can keep the temperatures on 75 in the house, but then try to go to sleep with a 75 degree inside of the room, can't sleep. I'm sweating, losing my mind. So I end up having to try to figure the thing out. Nothing that I did temperature regulation wise seemed to aid completely or solve the problem completely. Did it help? Yes, but it didn't solve the issue until I decided to start using bottled water. That's right. Made bread in Georgia, tap water, no issues. Made bread in California, tap water, no issues. Try to make bread here, started having issues. The water here is really hard, and in order to compensate for that, they add a lot of chemicals. All those chemicals kill the beneficial bacteria inside of the starter, and that was what the problem is. What you just saw on the yard is 2 days old, and look, it rises more than double. So, but it's still young. What I'm gonna do today is that I'm gonna feed a big amount, double it up, and then tomorrow we're gonna start subtracting a portion of it, and then do a 1 to 1 to 1, meaning the regular ratio that I gave you guys on all the videos, and if you want you can go back and check all my videos. The regular ratio that I gave you was 1 part flour by weight, 1 part water by weight. What I'm going to start doing tomorrow is going to be 1 part starter by weight, 1 part flour by weight, 1 part water by weight. What I've been doing different too is because I didn't know and I had to try everything. I've been staying only with the whole wheat, and I'm going to stay the entire process with the whole wheat, and I'm only going to start feeding all-purpose flour once the starter is ready to go. I will not use the all flour yet, and the reason being the temperature issues that I'm having. I want to have a flour that is dense and that it can create beneficial bacteria faster, and that it can absorb the most amount of yeast as possible during the fermentation process, versus putting a flour that might not give me all those elements. So what we're going to do today is that I'm going to go through another feeding, and we're going to do a checkup tomorrow, and based on how we're looking tomorrow, we're going to subtract half of that, we're going to weigh it, that half that we're going to get left is what we're going to use 1 to 1 to 1 and get it all running. Let's go. All right, so as you guys know, we're going to go over my weights and get everything situated here. I should have checked the water. That should have been the first thing that I should have done. I know that we have some hard water. I just didn't know the amount of chemicals that were in it. I thought that it was only a high load of mineral content, but in order to counter-arrest some of the mineral content, they add a lot of chemicals, chlorine mostly, and that's where we've been crashing with. So, yeah, not good. So, container, water, bottled water. Like, who would have guessed it? And this is room temperature. Like, I'm not even warming up the water. And look at the results. Like, it is amazing. As I mentioned before, my jar is roughly about 765 grams. Right now, I have roughly about 186 grams of starter in it. So I'm gonna do a feeding. I've been doing. This is my second feeding on this new batch with bottled water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 40 gram flour with a 40 gram water feed today. We're gonna get that done. We're gonna feed it, and then tomorrow I'm gonna weigh everything again. We're gonna subtract half of it and do another feeding. Now, because if this rises the way that I think is gonna rise by tomorrow, I'm gonna have to increase my feeding. So instead of doing 40 grams of flour and 40 grams of water, I might be doing 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of water. It's all gonna depend on what's happening with my rise up. Or I might just subtract everything, lift everything into a 40 and do 40, 40, 40, and then from that 40 then we can start increasing and feeding more often. So let's go. So I got my little jar here, flour this way. As I said, this is going a little bit fast. If you want more on detail what I was doing and why I was doing it, you can start on video the series 1, and then you're gonna find the rest of the information there. And once again, everything is still the same. I'm working the same process. The only thing that is not changing is I'm keep sticking to the whole wheat because this starter is really young and I want something that can give me some of that bacteria really fast. So I'm gonna stick with that until we're done. Once I'm done and we make the first bread and everything, then feeding that I'm gonna start doing with that is gonna be with all flours versus my whole wheat. So go back to those videos, look at them, get the concept of what I'm doing, and then come back to this video and just see what I'm doing. So we're gonna do 40 grams of water by weight, 40 grams of flour by weight. Let's go. Oops, I went above 40 grams. Let's see. Boop. 40 grams, there we go. Look at us doing things. Okay, so now we're gonna do 40 grams of flour by weight. I'm gonna zero these down. Okay. Getting pretty close, so I gotta be careful here. 40 grams. There we go. Oh no. Almost 40 grams. Boom. 40 grams. There we go. Now we're in 40 grams. Clean this up. So as usual, we'll mix this up really well until you don't see any dry particle of flour anywhere. Really well combined. Everything is really clean and sanitized here, so we don't introduce anything that might interfere with that bacteria and that fermentation process. Alright, so we're gonna add these 40 grams in there. And then we're gonna check it tomorrow. We're back in track. I apologize that I couldn't do any update in the process, but I was in a trial and error, and it can be quite boring because I have like 7 different jars at the same time going, and I was changing water quantities and flour quantities on all of them. It was kind of like a mad scientist lab, and I had jars spread out through the entire house just so I could check temperatures. It was chaos. So I do apologize, but we got it all figured out. So as usual, we're gonna grab our jar. We're gonna grab all the new mix that we got, put it in there. Scrape as much as possible. Oh, the smell, guys. Ooh, it's already smelling sour, nice, and yeasty. Oh man. This is gonna be, all this work is gonna be all well worth it. So if you're gonna start following this series of videos from video 1, do yourself a favor, avoid yourself a headache, get you some bottled water or a really nice filtered water, or if you have a really nice filter at home, use that water instead. Minimum, you want it at room temperature. Better if you can have it lukewarm water, but if you have it at room temperature, hey, that's good. And just make sure that you are somewhere where you're gonna have temperature ranging about 70 to 80 degrees. Less than that, it's gonna take longer for it to ferment. Can happen, yes, might not be the greatest. More than that, it might kill all your beneficial bacteria. So let's mix this bad boy up. I'm gonna have to put my hand in front here because stability. Make sure that everything is really well incorporated in there. Oh yeah, the consistency is beautiful. Oh man, I'm loving this. Oh, if you guys could smell this. Oh, it smells like a French bakery. Alright, fluffy. Nice and sticky. Okay, clean up your wall so you can identify how much this is gonna rise. There it goes. Nice. There we go. So now, this is what we're looking at. A little closer, because if this rises the way I think it's gonna rise tomorrow, we're gonna see this doubled up really nicely. So this is how it's looking right now. As I said, if the camera could transfer the smell. Whoo. So logically, we mixed everything up. There's no bubbles. But I'm gonna do a take tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna do one tomorrow night when I'm feeding it. The one that you're gonna see tomorrow morning might be just a quick video of me getting it out of the oven. The oven is where I'll be keeping it at night, so it doesn't cool down too much. But yeah, there we go. Alrighty, so I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. This was a quick update. Once again, I apologize for not having an update, but this was chaos. I tried 7 billion different things, and the last thing to try was the water. I didn't think the water would be an issue, as I mentioned before. In restaurants, in my home, in Georgia and California, I made bread hundreds of times. French bread, sourdough bread, all kinds of different breads, and never had an issue with the water. Until Texas. Texas don't like me much, huh? Texas has been beating me up since I moved here. But hey, live and learn. We now know filtration, water in Texas is a must if you're gonna be doing breads. Now we got it now. So tomorrow, once again, I'm gonna give you a couple of snips throughout the amount of hours of that is gonna be rising up. Some people use actually a rubber band to see what it rises up. Me, I know exactly where everything is because I got little markings right next to the jar, so I can remember exactly where everything is. But that should double up in size tomorrow and get really airy and stuff. Now, for day 4, I'm not expecting that to grow much, which happens, but on day 4, I'm gonna be doing more feeding than what I've been doing than the 40 grams. So tomorrow we're gonna try to do a 40, 40, 40. And on day 4 is where things are gonna get interesting, is because I'm gonna start increasing the amount of feeding that I'm gonna be doing. I don't know if we're gonna be doing 50 grams, 50, 50, 50s, or if we're gonna be doing 60, 60, 60s. I don't know yet. It's gonna depend on what we see. But once I increase it to that level, day 5, 6, and 7 is gonna be double feedings. We're gonna feed it twice a day, one in the morning, once at night, and by day 7, we should be pretty much dialed, bake a bread. So I might be baking a bread on Saturday or Sunday. I don't know yet. As far as the boat, apparently it's gonna rain this week. Right, my luck. I got all the pieces and bits and parts. So apparently it's gonna rain tomorrow. So if it rains, well, not a big deal. We bake more bread and I'll show you all the tricks on baking. But as of right now, we might still be able to paint the boat. Not 100% yet what's gonna happen. We actually should be getting some rain tonight. So that's what is going to tell us what really is going to go down. But there you go. As the sourdough bread starter, that's where we are. We figured it out. My issue was the water and a little bit of the temperature, but mostly the water. And now we're back in track. So thank you so very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. If you haven't yet, go to panchothings.com, where I have my own merch made by myself. Go and grab you a t-shirt, an ammo bag, a sticker, whatever you find in there that you might like. There's going to be some new merch coming. Give me some time, probably within the next week or so. We should be having some new merch popping up on the website. So keep an eye peeled for that one. But thank you so very much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Pancho out.